Okay guys, welcome back to more Persona 4 Arena. We're still doing the story mode. We just met Elizabeth here, who is apparently the sister of Margaret from the Velvet Room. And I don't know if we're gonna fight her, but this is the 4th episode, so I'm gonna do this episode and then I'll probably play another game for maybe 4 episodes. We'll see. I'll come back to it at some point, but who knows when that'll be. But thanks for watching. Now let's go ahead and continue with more Persona 4 Arena. So I'm pretty sure she said this, but the power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength, I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I know a little about the wild card, but
I feel that the first glue to granting my wish lies within that power.
glue?
Flu? Influenza. Something along those lines at any rate.
She's having trouble coming up with the right words, but I can hear the sincerity in her speech. Probably. In other words, I think she means that the power of the wild card is related to her desire and came here. I don't think it's worth it to ask how she knew I had that power, or where she found out about it. Just as I'm struggling to follow the meandering path of her conversation, she brings up an outrageous suggestion.
Might I suggest that you and I fight?
What? Someone, please tell me how she reached the conclusion that this was a good idea. I don't think I have a chance of talking her out of it, though. But of course I have to try, so I say.
Oh, how excited this is making me! My expectations are ascending skyward at Mach speed. To be direct, I'd like for you to show me the potential slumbering within you.
Let me make sure of something, just in case. You understand what I'm saying, right? There's no illusions at work?
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
I see. So you're actually in your right mind here. That's kind of, impressive.
Well, maybe she understood what I meant when I mentioned the illusions. If that's so, then she at least must have some idea of what's going on around here. And even though she might understand it, she still wants to fight me. I wonder, though, if she's unrelated to the General Teddy's plans and invited herself into the tournament, do the usual rules apply? As I think about this, Elizabeth-san taps her foot on the ground, takes a fighting posture. She really does want to fight. The huge leather-bound book in her hand opens, as if by itself. A torrent of power pours from the open book, with a blue light. I can't believe that this strange girl has such unimaginable power. She seems so aloof. No, it may be more correct to call it an air of imminent violence.
Alright, I won't be able to hold back.
To be honest, I was really only saying that in the hopes of bluffing her. I have absolutely no room to hold back in this fight. I hurriedly cast off my fear and focus on the upcoming battle. There's no room for doubt. I need to hit her with my full strength from the start. So I guess they don't like the choice that I made. Even if I were to fight her with the intent of killing her, I'd be lucky not to end up dead myself. At least that's how I feel. Elizabeth-san calmly begins the battle.
Let us do this. Your fate is in the cards.
Finally! Fight!
CJ,
Your
fate is in the cards.
Play!
I anticipate.
Well, this is not going well.
Pray forgive me.
Negative penalty!
Oh my. Here, some freezing. Please look above.
We're
Oh
through!
yeah, she's absolutely destroying me, so...
We're through!
Opening my deck. My turn.
We're through!
Opening my deck. My turn. You're frozen now. Please look above. Persona.
I'll show you, man.
Pardon me. Oopsie daisy. Now up.
We're
Here,
through.
it's a win. Persona. Whoa. Your fate is in the car. This one will hurt.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Final. Fight.
Oh no. What? Impressive. Oh
We're through.
Can you
no.
take
Opening
it?
right to warn. Thanatos. Thanatos. Summoning. Pardon me.
Not enough.
Persona. Here is some practice.
She apparently has like some type of like poison or
Here's some
something.
fire. Your fate is in impressive. Impressive.
Persona!
From this moment forth, summoning. Impressive. As I anticipated. Now up.
Negative
I will shock
penalty.
Oh my.
Here!
Oh no.
We're through.
Oh no. Opening my deck. Opening my deck. Oh no. Here is some poison. Well done.
Well, I barely won that one. Just when I thought I've managed to throw her off balance, Elizabeth-san gets back up elegantly, as if nothing had just happened. Suddenly, I feel an intensity building up in the air. Don't tell me she hadn't been taking this seriously at all up until now. In the next moment, I'm swallowed into a torrent of power like a leaf being blown into the air, without the slightest understanding of what's happening. My vision blurs as I'm spun about, and before I can tell up from down, the floor jumps towards me and I'm slammed into the ground. Am I going to lose? As my consciousness fades, I see the faces of my friends and Agus-san, all those I had fought against up until now. It's like that story that you see your life flash before your eyes just before you die. Am I dying? Can I really accept that? I'll fight as much as I have to in order to save my friends. I have to keep fighting. I've come so far, I can't lose heart now. I desperately force my legs to move and manage to stand up again. Elizabeth-san shuts her book with an air of finality.
I see. I am quite content with this outcome. It seems you possess true strength.
The unyielding torrent of power suddenly ceases without warning. Is it over? Even as I come to understand that, I continue to stand stock still, unable to move.
I believed you were at the limits of your stamina after the battle against Igus earlier. In actuality, your heart almost gave in during your struggle with me. But each time you faltered, the many hearts supporting you gave you strength, helping you to rise again.
She cuts herself off and nods to herself, as if to confirm some suspicion.
This was truly an intriguing battle. I believe our encounter has borne much flute.
Flute?
Flue? Chimneys. In any case, I am quite pleased.
Even after a battle, she acts like that. I feel like a fool for believing that she really would have killed me, even if it felt quite real at the time. I can't believe any of this. My legs give out under me, and I sink to the ground. Maybe she understands how I feel. Elizabeth-san looks straight into my eyes.
May I ask you something? To continue fighting in order to prevent an undesirable future, it is a path of endless hardship. Would you still choose to walk it?
Margaret had said something similar just before this tournament had begun. How I had overcome the ordeal concerning last year's case and opened the door. Margaret's and Elizabeth-san's words come together in my mind.
Yeah. Working for a better tomorrow isn't just a one-time thing. The tomorrows keep coming.
Opening the door is necessary, but it's not what's truly important. What's more important is making sure that you follow the path that's beyond the door. Only once you have that path in mind does it matter whether you've opened the door or not. That's how I feel.
I would keep fighting for the future we want.
Elizabeth-san smiles at my answer. It seems the former dweller of the Velvet Room is pleased with my answer. She must have chosen a path of her own at some point, and is doing everything in her power to see it through. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but I feel as if I'm able to understand her a little bit better now.
Well then, it's time for me to bid you adieu. By your leave, I, Elizabeth, am out of here.
With this, Elizabeth briskly walks out of the room. She caused me some trouble, but I've also learned something about myself as well. I think I'll call it a draw. As I wave goodbye to Elizabeth, I hear heyJason getting to her feet behind me.
Are you alright? You shouldn't force yourself to move.
I was concerned at first, but heyJason doesn't seem to be very hurt or damaged or whatever you would say. She was likely just knocked out. I had absolutely no chance of winning if I'd gone easy on her either. This is getting ridiculous.
You are very kind. We've only just met, and yet you're worried about a machine like myself.
Huh? Isn't that normal?
heyJason laughs at my confusion.
Seeing you smile like that, I don't know. I just can't think of you as a machine. You have a heart, right? Then it doesn't matter whether you're man or machine.
heyJason stops laughing and thinks deeply for a moment. But after a few seconds, she looks back up at me with a serious look in her eyes.
You have defeated me in single combat. That will make it difficult for me to continue forward. But I believe I can trust you. Will you listen to my mission directive?
I have no reason to say no. I look heyJason square in the eyes and nod reassuringly. And so heyJason told me about her directive, and it was truly surprising. There was another case involving personas and shadows outside of Inaba, even before our adventure last year. And she is a weapon with a heart, created with the express purpose of wielding a persona to fight the shadows. She believes that this current situation came to be because someone had stolen a similar weapon and caused it to enter the TV world.
So, there's another girl robot with a heart like you, and she's the cause of all this?
We came to this world to retrieve her. My older sister, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris, is in this world somewhere.
Nanako, Miss President, her shadow, and now Labris. I have a mountain of tasks to accomplish now. But even though I have a lot to do, I can't ignore any of it.
Tell me more about Labris, and I'll do what I can to help you get her back.
Unfortunately,
heyJason's expression clouds. She said that she was a machine, but that she really is no different from a human. As I'm listening to her, I think about what this means in my search for Labris. It's not helpful.
So you don't know what she looks like, what she can do, or what equipment she's loaded with.
Basically, all she could tell me is that Labris is a robot who's built to look like a girl. Wait a second, did I meet a girl I didn't know in the TV world? Miss President? Could Miss President be Labris?
Is there a possibility that she looks, well, more human than you? You mentioned earlier that she was your older sister. so I assume she was built before you, but...
My sister was an older model, a prototype for the 5th generation to be exact. It's doubtful that she would look more human than myself.
Then there's no way Miss President could be Labrys. I could tell at first glance that HeyJason was a machine. Miss President appears to be completely human. I never once considered that she might not be human until just now. But that just makes things even more complicated. What in the world is going on inside this TV?
Alright, in any case, I'll keep an eye out for her. But right now, I'm heading to the announcement room. If Labrys is the cause of this, then I'm bound to meet up with her eventually.
I shrug slightly. I don't want to be so grave. HeyJason must sense what I'm trying to do and smiles.
Thank you. I will trust my sister's fate to you.
Of course. I give HeyJason a determined nod and run out of the classroom. But man, what a busy golden week. I have to make sure Nanako's okay, find Miss President, unmask whoever's masquerading as Teddy, and now search for Labrys somewhere in here. If this wasn't happening, I'd be kicking it with my friends at the Junes food court. Yukiko seemed to be trying to be coy, but I'm pretty sure that big bundle she was carrying was probably boxed lunches that she'd made. As to how they might taste, well, let's not get sidetracked. I'm sure we'd all have enjoyed them anyway. Eventually, I would have called Nanako over and we would have bought some snacks together. There were things I wanted to buy from the Shiraku store, and maybe I could have made it to that place in time to buy the last of their special croquettes. I wanted to talk with the owner of Daidara and get some books from the bookstore. I'd have had a steak bowl at Aya, hung out with the fox at the Tatsumi shrine, waited for my uncle so we could have dinner, and tomorrow I'd have gone fishing. If the one who ruined my vacation and caused all these problems is the same person who stole Labrys, and if they're truly brought Nanako back into the TV world,
They're not getting away from me.
as I run on, I come across yet another blue door. Perhaps it's a sign that I need to calm down. True, I may have lost my cool for a moment.
Someone here? Again?
I reach towards the door with a relaxed smile. Margaret is in her usual position. I glance around to see if there's anyone else in here. It looks like her nutcase of a sister isn't here. Margaret notices me looking and sighs, a seductive sound that also conveys annoyance.
It seems my sister has caused you some trouble. Though this may mean that I'm not the only one who is drawn to the light of your potential.
There's a hint of tenderness towards her sister in her words. Her sister must be important to her. I could tell from the look on her face. Do I look like that when I talk about Nanako? Margaret pulls herself together and speaks again.
You have gained new resolve by overcoming many doubts and falsehoods.
A new resolve. I find myself nodding along.
You have reached the threshold of truth. But man's hearts are mutable. That is why a resolve to continue fighting is more important than any one victory or defeat.
Yeah, I understand.
But this will be a difficult battle without end. Are you equal to the challenge?
The way she puts it makes it seem as if she was testing me. I don't respond immediately and think about the question. It would be lying to say that I'm not worried. I know that my heart can be swayed by change. There's no knowing what will happen from moment to moment. But even then,
If I have my friends, if I'm not alone, I can do it.
I see.
Margaret nods slightly in response.
I have heard your answer, but it's not enough. Remember what I told you before? The heart is shaken more by a single action than by 1,000 words.
As she smiles, my vision begins to blur. I hear words being repeated. I have reached the threshold of truth. Everything that's happened during the course of this case runs through my mind. The new appearance of the TV world, this tournament pitting us against each other, the student council president, and a fake Teddy. My encounter with a weapon with a heart. Aige-san searching for her sister Labyrinth. And the determination that I've gained through these constant battles. What I must accomplish. How do I show what I've decided through my actions? It seems that the number of invisible walls has decreased. Could this mean that the end is near? Just as I think that, I hear a familiar voice.
That's enough!
That was Miss President's voice. It was coming from the door to the announcement room. I finally made it. I open the door and rush inside.
You're finally here! Hello, Sensei! Congratulations! How does it feel to have won the P1 Grand Prix?
The general smirks at me as I pass through the door. Behind him, Miss President and Rise. When the two of them see me, Miss President looks confused, while Rise's face lights up with joy.
There you are, Senpai! You're late!
I have to stay cautious of the general, but I signal to the girls that everything will be alright now. The general is closer to them than I am. I can't afford to make any reckless moves just yet. And there's one more thing I need to know.
Teddy, where's Nanako?
I look around the announcement room, but Nanako is nowhere to be found. The general's face distorts with an ugly glee.
Nana-chan's right here. See?
Slowly, the general extends the arm that was held behind him. And there was Nanako. Her arms are clutched to her chest, and she slowly takes a few steps towards me, obviously frightened.
Nanako!
After taking a step forward, I notice something bizarre. The general disappeared. For a brief instant, my full attention has been focused on Nanako. The general had been standing directly behind her, but now he's gone. How could he have gone somewhere else that quickly, right in front of me, without me noticing it?
Big bro.
While I'm confused about the general's disappearance, Nanako weakly calls to me. Nanako's obviously been weakened by being in the TV world. She totters towards me unsteadily, looking ready to collapse at any moment. I can think about the general later. I have to save Nanako right now. As I reach out to her, Rise yells.
Senpai, no! Nanako-chan's not there!
Nanako's not here. What is she saying? She's right here. Just as I'm about to say so, my hand stops. Something's not right. I try to look into Nanako's face once more, and in her eyes I saw madness.
Oh, so close! Just a little more and Sensei would have been a goner!
You bastard!
I barely reacted in time to draw my sword to block the attack. The general suddenly appeared out of nowhere to attack me with his cane, and I get a good look at him as our weapons clash together. I see the madness in his face, the same madness that I had seen in Nanako's only a moment before. That's when I noticed that Nanako has disappeared. What's going on?
You've got it wrong, Senpai! It's all been him from the beginning! You can make whoever's looking at him see him as someone else!
So he's not actually taking on other forms?
No, he's just distorting the things you see and hear.
That's right, the enemy is able to control what I see and hear. I'd realized that after all the battles I'd had today, but seeing Nanako had made me forget all that. The general laughs at this.
It's hard for me to show someone who isn't here. But you actually saw this Nanako girl? You're hopeless.
Just like how my friends hadn't actually gone crazy before our fights, Nanako had never been brought into this world in the first place. The appearance before me is a fake. He distorted our senses all to make us suffer. But just as I thought, he couldn't deceive Risei's persona abilities. That's why he kidnapped her, to keep her from warning us during his tournament. Now that I know that, I pushed the general's cane away and jumped back towards the girls in order to distance myself from him. Good, now I'm between them and the general. I then looked straight at the one behind this bizarre situation.
Who in the world are you?
You still can't tell? Seriously, the level of intelligence around here. Find them. Here. Get a good look. I am a shadow. The true self.
That's my face.
I saw metal limbs, golden eyes, and a ponytail. A mirror image of Miss President's face, even though she was standing behind me, trembling.
How about it? You wanted to see what I am, didn't you?
Why does she look like me? That's its true form. That thing is your shadow. This is a shadow? She really came from inside me?
Risei tries to calm Miss President, but the girl shakes her head in denial and squeezes her eyes shut. While Miss President refuses to look at this mechanical-looking being, I now understand what is going on. Because this isn't the first time I've seen a robotic girl before. All the facts match up. The way she was able to run so fast without so much as breathing heavily, even in the TV world. The sense of wrongness that I had when Miss President had asked me about killing my friends. The way she avoided telling me her name. That superhuman strength when she hit Chie and that incredible jump to get away from us. And the Shadow's ability to interfere with the senses of other people. Just as Margaret had said, all the pieces to the puzzle were laid out before me. They've all come together and now I can see the truth. She is indeed Labrys. Labrys, another weapon with a heart, stolen by someone unknown and thrown into the TV world, created this school and forced us to fight our friends. This deep-rooted depression regarding her past memories, all of this took the form of Labrys' shadow, who manipulated everything here.
Labrys, don't look away. If you don't accept her, she'll get even stronger.
Miss Prez Labrys only shivers when I call out to her. There has to be some reason why she believed that she was the student council president. But that's just a disguise more for herself than for us, no matter how comfortable it is. It's only there to cloud her eyes from the truth.
I don't know what your past was like. It must have had some painful memories. But you have us with you now. We're going to get you out of here.
I call out to Labyrinth while keeping an eye on the shadow. A shadow is the darkness within a person's heart. Unless it is accepted by the person it came from, it will never disappear for good. But with that in mind, all we can do now is watch over her as she accepts this darkness within her. We'll have to protect her when the shadow goes berserk and tries to kill her. But Labyrinth continues to shake her head and tremble violently. My words aren't getting through to her.
You hear that, me? Your friend is trying to tell you something. Too bad he doesn't understand at all. These clowns are so hopelessly naive.
The shadow laughs shrilly. It continues to smear more poison into Labyrinth's heart.
I wish I could have made them feel my pain. What it's like having to murder one another. That sadness and pain and anguish. Everything went black, and I was always left alone. I'm a weapon, a machine made only to fight. No human can understand my suffering. Stop! I've had enough. I'm human. I'm not like that.
This isn't good. I settle into a fighting stance ready for anything, though I have a good idea what's going to happen.
Oh, you're still clinging to that? Then take a look at what you really are.
The shadow's eyes gleam with golden light. The change begins immediately. A shimmer runs across Labyrinth's body, and instead of the normal human girl there had been a moment ago, she has a metallic body just like her shadow.
No! No!
Labyrinth loses all composure and scratches at her arm, trying to tear away the metal that has appeared. But there is more to her change than just her arms. Her legs, waist, chest, even her head, everything not covered by her clothing, was now obviously mechanical. The reality that she didn't want to face. There are no words we can say to her. No matter what we say, reality won't change. Labyrinth falls to her knees, and finally mutters the words I was dreading she'd say. Alright, Kanji and Teddy's stories are now available. Okay, well, I think that's it for now. I'm guessing I have to play through some of these other characters' stories before we can get back to him. But anyways, I guess that'll do it for this episode. Sorry to leave it on a cliffhanger like that, but anyways, I will come back to this game probably sooner rather than later. Maybe another month or two. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.